The month of November was not good for the Dallas Mavericks, where over that stretch they went 4-12. And to me, it looked like Cooper Flagg was heavily overtasked offensively, where the Mavs' lack of shooting and on-ball creation around him led to the ball being thrown in his hands, and him pretty much having to create offense 1-on-5. But with Anthony Davis back in the lineup, Dallas so far has gone 4-2 in December, plus Flagg's scoring and efficiency has taken a pretty substantial jump. In this video, we're going to hone in on Flagg's offense to see where exactly he's been finding success and what things he can improve on this year and beyond. Now, with the ball in his hands, there's no doubt that Flagg does his best work attacking the basket. At 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan, he's very tough to deal with when he gets ahead of steam going towards the basket. He can attack both right and left, plus has no problem extending into finishes with either hand. Along with that size and length, Coop also has the ball skills on the perimeter to break down the first line of defense. First, he's very good at keeping things simple with these straight line blow-bys. There's no nonsense with this move here. When he feels Ace Bailey pressing up to meet him, Coop is just going to open up his stance and dust him with a north to south drive. This is an SGA style of blow-by here, where he's initially playing upright and casual with the ball, and watch him lazily transfer through to his left. But as the ball travels across, notice how he dips his level. And from this spot, he's in the perfect position to explode.
6 rebounds in 21 minutes. Got to start tonight.
While attacking the basket, Flagg also has pretty underrated strength. Now, there's obviously some room for improvement with him literally being 18, but he still has the ability to create angles by just exploding through contact. Off this pick here, look how he's going to drive right through Claxton's frame, creating another straight line drive. When playing around the basket, Flagg also has really good touch. If he's dealing with length or any aggressive backside rotations, he can put up these soft, high arcing finishes with either hand. And he can transfer that touch up while gathering off 1 foot, or picking up and playing off 2 feet. This is one of his best finishes here, where Cooper first attacks hard to his left, and with his momentum heavily pulling him downhill, he has the control to pick up on 2 and put up this soft left hand finish. And the balance and control it takes on shots like these is pretty tough. Now, probably my favorite part about Flagg's paint scoring is his ability to play off 2 feet, and this gives him a more stable base to more effectively bump through contact, or set up different pivots and step throughs in the paint. The pace and setup here is elite, where he initially has 2 defenders on him, but watch him briefly pull the ball out and reset. And from here, he's going to get right into a hard 1-dribble shot fake and step through. This is more really good control here, where he's attacking with a head of steam in transition, and he's got the balance to initiate contact and spin over to his right, setting up another head fake and step through. So from Coop's physical build, his ability to get straight line blow-bys on the perimeter, his touch in the lane, and the control to play off 2 feet, already gives him the build to be an elite off-the-dribble attacker. And the thing is, many of those tools also carry over to his slashing off the ball. His length and explosiveness makes him an elite play finisher in transition. He can attack rotations off the catch in the half court, play off the gravity of his teammates as a cutter, plus be a legit vertical lob threat. Right now, across the NBA, there's not many guys who check all those boxes both on and off the ball. But Coop so far in just his first 2 months of NBA basketball is already an extremely well-rounded slasher. Now, like I said, I still think Flagg's strength has some room for improvement. There are times where he gets bumped off his driving line and gets pushed out into these tougher and more awkward finishes. Off the screen here, he's got Jabari Smith on his hip. From here, he has to veer into contact to really create a clean finishing window, but he gets pushed out of bounds with this tough drifting left-hand scoop shot. And again, while Flagg does have good touch around the basket, I think he generally should be looking to seek out more contact in the paint, because in the long run, that's going to lead to better looks and more free throws. Now, Cooper so far this year has been doing some really good work in the mid-range. The efficiency may not quite be there yet, but I do think he's developing a really good process for generating these in-between looks. First, he's great at leveraging his size and length to get shots off. One of his go-to setups is this bump with his outside shoulder to then turn out into his jumper, and he typically gets really good separation with these moves. And like we saw with his slashing game, his ability to play through contact is huge, because that allows him to both attack angles and create space. Watch him here drive across the paint to his left, gather on 2 feet, to then lift up and drift out with his fadeaway. This is also really good footwork and balance here, with him initially posting up Harden here, but watch him rotate his shoulders and explode through Harden's frame with an aggressive one-dribble pull-up. And going forward, once Coop gets a little more stable and on balance with the ball, he could also start to mix in these 1-foot fadeaways. And shots like these are going to be really tough to guard, where he drives right into the defense's chest to then bump and flow out for a 1-foot jumper. And the thing that really separates Coop is that along with him having this build, he also has the footwork and handle to create separation off a live dribble. When playing in isolation, he has the control to attack hard downhill to then slam the brakes and separate. While exploding into straight line drives, he also has the balance to sharply change direction. And again, for him being 18 and 6'9", him already having this kind of body control is crazy. Look how he's going to rip hard to his left and then slam the brakes off that right foot. And again, from here, he has the control to slide the ball behind to then drift out into a one-dribble left-right jumper. He's going to use that handle here to set the screen up, where Flagg dribbles hard to his left and transfers the ball behind, and he perfectly runs Harden into the screen at the elbow. So similar to his driving game, Flagg is already a pretty versatile in-between scorer. He has the height and lift to elevate over contests, the balance to bump and initiate contact to create separation, plus he has the game off the bounce to get shots off while playing in isolation. Now going forward for Coop, I think the next step for him is going to be to get better at reading the defense and picking the right spots for these looks. When playing off the catch, there are times where he is a little bit too eager to put the ball down and rise up for quick one-dribble pull-ups. And in pick and roll, he also needs to get better at probing and finding the best available shots, instead of hunting the first looks that come to him. There's too many times where he turns the corner and it's a quick pickup into a contested jumper. And to be fair, Flagg does have the ability to keep his man on his hip and kind of bump and snake across to find space to pull up. But in general, I would like to see him get a little more comfortable keeping his dribble alive and really find ways to bend the defense and create better shots. Now when going out even further and looking at Flagg's 3-point shooting, his accuracy hasn't really taken a big jump over these last few weeks. But one thing that is worth mentioning is that his 3-point volume from November to December has pretty much been cut in half. And I think generally for Flagg, this is a good thing, because while that outside shot is going to most likely get better over the next few years, I'd rather see him lean into his current strengths, which again is attacking the basket and stopping short in the mid-range. And I think for right now, the outside looks that Flagg should be taking are either wide open looks off the catch or in rhythm pull-ups if the defense gives him too much space. But with where his game is at right now, I don't think he should be a guy that's actively hunting 3-point looks off the dribble. And in general, his game should always be attack first and pull up second. These are some examples of shots that I don't like, where he first turns the corner off the screen, and with the weak side here outside the paint, he has all of this space to attack the drop big one-on-one, but a pull-up 3 here kind of lets the defense off the hook. Now on this play, he gets the switch against James Harden, and again from here he has open space to attack into, where he can either put pressure on the rim or find space to stop short and pull up. But again, a size up 3 for him isn't really the best look. So again, as Flagg's game develops, the right shots for him are also going to evolve. But with his 3-point shooting right now, I think for him less is going to be more. Now the last thing I want to dive into is Flagg's passing. And going forward, I actually think he has the potential to be one of the NBA's top tier playmakers. He's unselfish, willing to make the right play, plus that size allows him to make passing reads over the defense. But going forward, there are two things that I would like to see Coop get better at. First is keeping his dribble alive out of pick and roll, and second is scanning the entire floor. While dealing with aggressive coverages, Coop does have the ability to protect the ball and make the safe pass out. But at the same time, he doesn't really punish the defense. And kind of like what we saw with his mid-range game, Coop tends to make the first pass that he sees, as opposed to probing and finding the best possible read. Take this play for example. Off the screen, he briefly pulls 2 defenders towards the ball. The top tier playmakers from here are going to keep their dribble alive to really pull out that double. But Coop picking up his dribble allows him to rotate back out and get matched up. And while he does find AD down low for a jump hook, I still think he had the opportunity to create a more clean look. And again, because Flagg has already established himself as a high-level downhill and mid-range scorer, he's commonly pulling multiple levels of defense towards him, which should open up opportunities for cross-court reads. But as of right now, he doesn't have the pace or feel to map the whole court yet. This is a really good pocket pass here to the roller, but I actually think the best passers would leverage that rolling threat and laser the ball across the opposite wing. Now, before I get yelled at, I'm very aware that these are all pretty advanced reads, and there are some starting point guards who don't have this kind of feel. But I think because of Flagg's scoring gravity, size, and already unselfish play, he does have the foundation to make these reads down the line. And with just a few more years of NBA experience, I don't see any reason why he can't average over 7 assists per game, especially if he's also improving that outside shooting. So while Cooper still isn't in the ideal situation with Dallas, I still think the guy has the game to quickly turn himself into an all-star. He's already got the skill and build to be a really good slasher and in-between scorer, and I think if he can steadily improve that outside shooting, get more patient with the ball out of pick and roll, and develop his feel for the entire court, that will make him a complete offensive player.